Every wireless access point (AP) advertises its presence in space by transmitting a special packet called beacon. The beacon is being transmitted at regular intervals, about 10 times a second, and contains important information about the wireless network such as its name SSID, the supported data rates and signaling methods, synchronization data and other useful information that will help the receiving STA to join the network. When an STA activates its WNIC, it will immediately start looking at different channels frequencies for the presence of beacons, or in other words for an AP to connect. This process is called passive scanning and continues until the preferable AP is located and selected. Usually the selection is based on signal strength and supported technologies such as data rates, security services etc. Alternatively, the STA can transmit a probe request message to every channel, wait until an available AP in range reveals itself and replies with a probe response message. This process is called active scanning or probing and can significantly speed up the detection and selection of an access point. After the appropriate AP is selected, the STA initially sends to it an authentication request message in order to prove its identity. The AP replies with an authentication response message informing the STA that it is allowed to continue the connection phase. The STA then sends an association request message requesting from the AP to connect to the wireless network. The association phase is very important since the AP allocates resources for the STA and synchronizes their wireless network interface cards. The AP replies with an association response message informing for the successful connection. From this point, the STA and the AP can exchange messages. There are 3 types of wireless frames and a number of subtypes defined in the 802.11 standard. Understanding these types and subtypes will help to better understand the attacks that will be shown later. The main 3 types of wireless frames are management frames, control frames, and data frames. Subtypes of management frames are beacon frame, probe request frame, probe response frame, authentication frame, deauthentication frame, association request frame, association response frame, reassociation frame and disassociation frame. The main subtypes of control frames are request to send frame, clear to send frame, and acknowledgement frame. Finally, the last category of wireless frames is data frames. This type of frames are transmitted after the discovery, authentication and association phases and contains the real user data like email messages, web pages content, FTP downloads etc. Since this content is encrypted, the goal of an attacker is to acquire the encryption key and decrypt them in order to steal application passwords, spy the user's activity or perform other attacks that will be presented latter parts of this series. The responsibility of management frames is to help the sender and the receiver to establish and maintain a connection. The responsibility of control frames is to help the sender and the receiver to communicate smoothly without collisions. The control frame's operation is equal to a traffic policeman in a street junction with high traffic. Now, let's see the brief description of each of the subtypes of frames. As I said earlier, beacon frame are transmitted at regular intervals, about 10 times a second, and advertises the AP presence in space. One of the most important information the beacon carries is the Service Set Identifier (SSID), which is the name of the wireless network. An AP can be configured to stop transmitting the SSID in order to make it difficult to unauthorized users to connect to the network. The probe request frame is used by an STA operating in active scanning mode. The STA transmits this frame in all frequencies, also called channels, in order to discover an AP. This technique provides an extremely fast way to list all the wireless networks in the area, but it is not quiet at all and can reveal your presence to wireless intrusion detection systems. The probe response frame is sent as an answer from the AP to the STA that sent the probe request frame. This frame contains useful connectivity information about the wireless network, supported data rates etc. The authentication frame is very important to security since it carries information regarding the identity of the connecting user. Prior connecting to a wireless network, a user must prove that he is eligible to do so. In the simplest mode where open authentication is used, the user's STA just sends one authentication frame requesting access and the AP responds with one authentication frame accepting the request. If shared authentication is used, more messages are exchanged, but this will be analyzed later. The deauthentication frame is sent by the STA to the AP whenever the STA decides to leave the network. The AP, after receiving this subtype of frame, it will immediately disconnects the STA. The deauthentication frame will be used in many attacks since it is an easy way to force clients reveal useful information such as hidden SSIDs, authentication handshakes, etc., or cause denial of service attacks to the network. The association request frame is transmitted after the successful completion of the authentication phase. The STA informs the AP with its supported connection technologies and the SSID of the network it desires to connect. Remember, an AP can transmit simultaneously many SSIDs. If the AP accepts the previous request, it will respond to the STA with an association response frame. The AP will allocate the required hardware resources to support the STA's connection to the wireless network. This is what we will do in Evil Twin attack because this subtype of management frame is used whenever a roaming STA needs to change an AP. Suppose we have a user moving with his Android tablet inside a corporate building and needs to stay connected without any interruptions to the wireless network. The tablet's WNIC, when it detects a signal stronger than the one currently using it, sends a reassociation frame to the source of this signal. The AP responsible for this signal examines the incoming request and accepts or rejects the STA's request. The disassociation frame is used whenever an STA wants to inform the AP to terminate the association. By receiving this frame, the AP frees the resources allocated for this STA and stops transmitting to it any further frames. As we are going to see, this type of frame can be used to cause a denial of service attack to a wireless network. Every wireless node before transmitting a message sends an RTS frame to the destination node. Every other node that receives this RTS frame must postpone the transmission of its data for a random time in order to avoid collisions. The destination node that received the RTS frame responds with a CTS frame indicating to the source that it is not busy and is ready to receive messages. Every other node in the wireless network that receives the CTS frame postpones its transmission, like in the case of the RTS frame. This subtype of control frames is to inform the sender of a message that the receiver got it without any errors. If the sender of a message does not receive an ACK frame from the receiver, he assumes the message is lost or discarded due to errors and retransmits the original message.